So today we're back down on the sprig project. So I'm going to show you guys a bit of an update on what's going on, but we're about to put some more sprigs out. So we've got the Protea here all fixed up, ready to scarify this TifTuf again, pull the guts out of it. We've got it set nice and deep so we get some good clippings. But I'll show you an update and we're going to get back into it and get this done well. So, not sure you guys can see, but there is a ton of weeds in here. We've been watering like crazy and some sprigs have come up. They definitely have, but we've had a ton of weeds come up too, which you sort of deal with it when you're working with natural soil and you're not bringing anything in and that isn't washed. I did spray it a few times with some glyphosate, but some still came up. So this is something we're probably actually going to deal with next week. Still going to put some sprigs down across this area here, but not spread any over where the weeds are, and just spray it out with some dicamba. Won't use bow and arrow because that will have a little bit of an impact on our sprigs, and it does with seed too, if you weren't aware. If you put it out with seed, before you seed, sorry, it actually has an impact on germination. So we'll deal with the weeds soon, but it's mostly pig's weed, which is purslane. This nasty stuff here, it's almost like a succulent. So easy to get rid of once you actually start spraying it, but it does take over like crazy. But we have had a lot of sprigs come up in the spots where we went a lot deeper with the Scarify. So if you look here past all of the mallow and also the Patterson's curse that's just there is lots of little sprigs coming up absolutely everywhere now. And this sort of stuff does not take long to start spreading. So I'd say about a foot apart, there's another new little sprig coming up in some spots. Another one there, another one there. There's one there, there's one there. There's one coming up just there. So they're all over the place, hard to spot if you're standing back and trying to look at it. But as soon as you get down, even here, there's a ton of it just there. Some there, some there, some there, nice patch there. They just come up very nicely. That's all new, fresh growth too. Very young looking. And even a lot underneath some of these weeds and throughout all of these spots. And this is where we got the better sprigs with the mold that set a little bit deeper. So once we set the Protea deeper and put the Scarifying reel in there instead of the grooming reel. So just a tip, and you can see it with the results. Make sure you get something that's getting nice and deep, like a Scarifying reel, not a grooming reel, if you want to get those nice sprigs out. Because up here, where we used the grooming reel, we chucked it down, there's still some coming up. There's a piece there, there's a couple of pieces here and there, but it's not quite as thick and dense, and it's not popping up absolutely everywhere. I mean, actually, there's more and more. So it still works. Look at that, actually. That's a bit of Kikuyu. So is that. But there is, yeah. It's actually a lot more than I thought it was, so it's actually going a lot better than I thought. But the plan is today to get more out, go a little bit thicker. We may even top dress it today if we get the time. Otherwise, we'll top dress it early next week. But we definitely need to get some more out and get things moving. But Tay's now into it, Scarifying now. So what we're going to use today is the JD X380 with the catcher on the back. Going to pick up all the clippings because this machine here does a lot of a better job when you've got the catcher off. When the catcher is on, it just chokes up and struggles. So now it is powering through and we're getting some thick clippings out of there. Far out. Oh, look at that. That is perfect. A lot better than what we got last time. There's still some brown stuff in there, but there is a lot more runners and a lot more stuff that we can actually use. So after all this Scarifying too, I'm going to give the TifTuf some fertiliser because it's well in need of it, just to get some colour back into it. I'll probably actually scalp it after we do this too, scalp it back down and really get this thing coming back nicely, get rid of all the thatch. That's why the Scarifying is so good now, because we're going to get rid of a ton of thatch, but then we want to scalp it too. It's like a little bit of a mini renovation before the end of the season. We just won't Scarify it or top dress it. And then I'm going to get something like my Dominate in there, or possibly actually some Proliferate, which is some higher K, which is more of a winterizer fertiliser to get the lawn ready for winter. So great to apply this time of year to your cool season and your warm season grass. because it's got some higher K in it, so high potassium, which get those roots shooting nice and deep and makes it nice and resilient for the cooler weather. Right, so that part of the job is done, getting all the scarifyings out, or the chaff, or the sprigs, whatever you want to call it. So I'm just giving it a quick water now, because I don't want to dry out too much, because there's lots of green in there. Oh, that's cold. So I want to get top dress down, but I want to water it first, and then top dress it afterwards, just to make sure that none of it gets super stressed out. Got quite a lot of rain coming in the next little bit too, so it should really help with this. So if we can get down, we're just going to use sand and put it on top. Some sandy loam or something would be a little bit better because it would retain a little bit more moisture to get this going. But we've got to do what we've got to do. That's the thing. So water it now, come and top dress it after it's watered, and then probably roll it in so that we get it nice, just nice and level and contacting the ground nicely so that we get better results. Alright, so we got the top dressing done. Missed a little bit of footage because we had to get a rock out of spot. I was wondering why the top dresser wasn't working. I was hoping it wasn't broken, but just a rock stuck in there. But we got it top dressed nicely. We got it pretty thick actually, which I'm quite happy with. A bit thicker in some areas, but like through here, for example, it's not super thick, but the grass was also super thick too. So at least there's sand all throughout this whole area. And that's just going to help keep some moisture there, but also allow something for the TifTuf to root down into a little bit easier also. So I got the water going straight away. So I put the water on beforehand, top dressed, water again. I'm probably going to put some fertilizer on here when I put some fertilizer on the TifTuf just before this big rainstorm we have too. So Taylor and I are now scalping the TifTuf. So we're doing a little bit of a mini reno, as I said. So super low scalp. We're not going to take much off because I think it's on the lowest setting, nearly where he is it? Surely not. We'll find it anyway. Yep! There it is. So it's a day later, finished off scalping this whole area. Had to actually come back the next day and do it because ran out of fuel and had to go get some. But we scalped it nice and low. As you can see, we can actually see the soil down in there. I still need to come and blow off some of the clippings before I put some fertilizer out. So we've got a ton of rain coming in the next 2 days. So I'm actually gonna time it for when the rain is. I'm gonna put out some proliferate just to help bring it into the cooler months. So it's a little bit higher K. So it's gonna help with resilience and root growth coming into the cooler months. But also gonna get a little mini renovation done on here and at the same time get some sprigs over next to that area. That's probably the last bit of sprigging we're gonna do this season because soil temps are starting to drop. We'll see how far we get. TifTuf's a little bit different. It does produce a little bit more gibberellic acid, so it will grow for a little bit longer. And if we don't get frost too early, we should be good. But man, it's windy about at the moment. I think it's got something to do with the cyclones. Hope you guys up there with Cyclone Alfred are all good and safe. But good to have this done, all done and dusted, ready for it to come back and look really, really nice. It was actually looking not too bad before we went back and scalped it and scarified it, but hey, it is what it is. But the top dress too looks really good in this area. It's actually keeping moist now instead of drying out super quick, which is nice. This is just some clippings from blowing over. A lot of that won't take, but the stuff underneath should be good. But anyway, thanks guys so much for watching. Really appreciate it. Hopefully you enjoyed it. And I'll see you guys very, very soon.